Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, then welcome, and if you're returning, thank you as always for coming back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to set up your Google Calendar in order to be productive, make it work for you, stop you procrastinating as much and scrolling on your phone, wasting time and not managing your time effectively. If you are new here, I post videos every week. I'm sorry that the light is changing. We're relying on natural light for today's video. I post new videos every week on self-development, productivity, working online and lifestyle in general. So if that's something that interests you, then consider subscribing and let's get into today's video. Now, if you're anything like me or what I've previously been like, and some of my clients also struggle with this, is that unless we hold ourselves accountable, i.e. having time management things set in place in order to keep us accountable, such as a Google Calendar, then we might find ourselves procrastinating, scrolling on our phone, letting the time just slip by and not actually achieving the things that we want to achieve within the time that we want to achieve them. Then we end up going to bed feeling like, oh, fed up with yourself, that tomorrow you'll do better, and then this cycle just keeps on going. Trust me, I know what that feels like. I've been there, but now I have tools in place that help me stay on track and complete the goals that I want to complete and do the things that I want to do. When I wake up in the morning, I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do, and when I go to bed, I feel the sense of accomplishment knowing that I've done them. So if that's something that interests you, then stay along to watch this video. We're going to organize our Google Calendar together, and I'm going to show you how I use it for my business. I work for myself. I have multiple streams of income, and I solely rely on myself to bring that income in. So it's very important for me to stay on top of myself and to do the best that I can do with the time that I do have. All right, so the first thing I like to do is come into my Notion monthly brain dump. This is just an example to show you. This is, of course, not every single thing that I put in. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but this is just before I go into Google Calendar. I like just to get everything out of here onto a piece of paper or onto something like Notion. If you haven't heard of Notion, this is not sponsored in any way, but if you haven't heard of Notion, it's basically an online platform where you can it's everything digital. You can just do everything in a digital way, and I sometimes like that because I have different links to things and it's just more convenient than having scraps of pieces of paper everywhere. But if you are more of a paper girl, then of course, go back to old school pen and paper, which I also really do like. But if I keep everything in my head and then I try to go to a blank page in Google Calendar, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't even know where to begin. So I just like to get everything down. For example, top priorities for me for next month are one-to-one call with the wedding venue that we're potentially interested in, pack to move house, a big thing, and finalize our wedding budget, for example. Then we have reoccurring events. So these are things when I go to Google Calendar, I know this is not just a one-off event. This is something that needs to happen on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, whatever it may be. So for example, wedding planning series, because I want to start doing a wedding planning episodes on YouTube because I'm planning my own wedding, then I want to upload those on a weekly basis on a Friday, for example. Then editing needs to be a weekly occurrence, right? So it's just get things there so if you do a big clean on a Sunday, for example, like I do, then you need to put that in on a Sunday. Just to get things out of your mind and there, otherwise it does become quite overwhelming. Then we've got my calendar. So I've cleared it and just made it very simple for you just to show you how it's done. Now, the first thing, I've made my little notes here so I can just refer to them. So the first thing you can see on my calendar is, and I got this from someone online who does content as well, because when you work for yourself and you create content, you most of the time would want to put a little bit of makeup on, make it a little bit more effort on the days that you'll be in front of the camera. I also do one-to-one coaching, so therefore I need to be a little bit more presentable and like to put makeup on because I'm facing my clients. So I try to combine my makeup days with those particular tasks. And I'll show you what I mean. So for example, I need to film content for YouTube, right? Which takes a lot of time, and I'm just gonna do a massive time block of it. So I've just got at the top of my Monday here, makeup. So I need to know on a Monday, I'm waking up, I'm getting ready, and I'm putting a face of makeup on. So I'm gonna start, let's say, filming at 9 a.m. filming YouTube. Then what I do is come down into my calendars. I've created different calendars just to color code things because I am a very visual person. If you know me, you'll know that. And I like just to have everything color coordinated. So it's a lot easier and nicer to look at, if that makes sense. So that comes under filming. I tend to always put a notification because when I'm on one task, I like to know what's coming next. So I don't procrastinate and scroll and all that kind of stuff. So there you go, that's there. If you go into more options, you can then set it up as a weekly occurrence, a weekday occurrence, whatever it may be. So this is going to be a weekly occurrence for me. It's going to, let's say we're going to film all day because that's how long it does take. If you're filming multiple videos. So let's just say, for example, 9:30 to 4 p.m. Save. That's going to save in there. I just want to close that gap because it drives me crazy. So we're going to change that. So there you go. I've got filming on my makeup day. Then let's say we want to edit YouTube videos, which again takes hours and hours and hours, but I don't want to do an editing day on a day where I'm putting makeup on because it's just a waste. Because editing, you're just in front of the computer, you don't need to see anyone, you don't need to record anything. So editing day can come on, for me, I prefer it to come on the day where I've got comfies. I've written comfies because I'm just in my comfies, got my glasses on, hair's on top of my head, and I don't need to see anyone, right? So I'll just come in here. Let's say on a Tuesday, I want to do my editing YouTube. This, I like to do it quite quickly after filming because everything's still fresh in my mind. I know where I want to slot in this and this, and it just makes more sense for me. Again, you might be different. You may not even film any content, and that's completely fine. So I just like to choose computer because I'm going to be sitting in front of the computer. We want to change this from, let's say from 9 in the morning. Again, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So I'm going to go 9 to 5. Then I'm going to add notification. More options. And this is going to be a weekly occurrence. Weekly on a Tuesday. There you go. Save. There we go. So lunch should be on a Monday. I don't skip lunch on a Monday, but there you go. So I just take a lunch break in between, and that is my sitting in front of the computer editing. Then let's say I want to do coaching. I try to do a coaching on the days where I'm doing makeup, right? So let's say on Thursday, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do coaching. This is just an example. Of course, I don't want to put all the girls' details and all that kind of stuff in here because for privacy reasons. Let's say from 9 a.m., 9 to, again, it takes up a big chunk. Let's say 4, coaching. I'm not going to go in and do all the reoccurring things just not to bore you now, but that's what it looks like, coaching. All right. Then, okay, I've got another makeup day on a Friday. I do makeup on a Friday because usually on a Friday, me and my partner will go out, we will go for dinner somewhere. So I'm going to put makeup on probably on a Friday, not always. So then what can I do there? Okay, I can do filming reels or TikTok. That can be personally or that can be for my business because I do use my face for my business from time to time. So that's filming. I know I'm in front of a camera. And let's say that's going to take 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 hours. I mean, this is just an example. Save that in there, right? So I know where I am. I know that on the makeup days, I'm in front of the camera or I'm client facing. On the comfy days, I do things like admin. So let's say I need to go through emails, or I need to be in touch with suppliers, or I need to be in touch with the warehouse. For example, this is just an example for you. Either of these things, that can be for my e-commerce business, and that can be for, let's say 2 hours, we need to go and do all of that. So I'll time block that in there. Let's just put that up here. There you go. Then one thing I wanted to do is start, I do this anyway, but I want to start time blocking it. So I want to do express cleaning. I've already written it for Monday. Express clean. So obviously you don't need to do a deep clean of your house every single day, but just, just a quick half an hour tidy up. Bang, bang, half an hour timer's on. no distractions, and you'd be so surprised at what you can do in half an hour, just decluttering or getting the dishes done or put the laundry away or whatever it is, because that sets you up nicely for the day ahead. And I find that just really, really helps me. So that's comes under home. I want it to be a reoccurring thing. Again, I put notifications on for every single one, but I just don't want to take up too much of your time. I can do every weekday. So that's what I'll do. Every weekday I want to do an express clean. Oh, no, we want to move that up. All events, there you go. So I'm express cleaned and I'm ready for the day. Everything's decluttered, and it really does help when you're filming and creating content. When your house is like nice and tidy, it really does make all the difference. So then I can see here, we're on a comfy day and I've got some gaps. So what I can add in here is my spreadsheet for budgeting. So I've started doing on my monthly reset routines, which if you haven't seen, you can go and watch those. I do budgeting. So every week I'll come in and I'll input everything that we've spent money on into my Notion template so I can keep on track of our finances. So that's something I can do. That comes under, I guess, personal. We want that to be a reoccurring thing. Again, I'm not going to bore you. Do you know what? I'm going to put that on a Friday because I feel like that's more of a Friday thing. So scrap what I just said. What else can I do that's admin? I can do my e-commerce spreadsheet. Not something I love to do, but something that has to be done. So that comes under my e-commerce, and that can be done on the day that I'm not wearing makeup. See? So this is all admin related. I can plan YouTube content, so that can come on a day where I'm not in front of the camera, which is a Wednesday. This can be plan YouTube content. That's going to be in front of the computer. And you get my point. This will take definitely more than an hour. That will take at least 3 hours to plan all of my content. There you go. And you see how this comes along nicely? It's just color coordinated, nice to look at. And then what I'll do, of course, like much more goes in there. I could go into more detail, but I obviously don't want to bore you too much. But you see how this can help. It can really, really help you. You'll have notifications from one task to the other. You know that when you work for yourself, it's really challenging to stay on top. Hang on, I'm going to close the screen and come talk to you one-to-one. Hang on. So when you're doing this kind of, when you work for yourself or you work from home, for example, and you find yourself procrastinating, this is when it really, really does come in handy. And I find it really changes how I work. I need task by task notifications popping up. Right, this is what you've got next. So I'm less likely to pick up my phone, and I can leave my phone in the other room and I don't need to pick it up and scroll and waste time in between tasks. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I truly do waste so much time. The day just goes by and I'm like, what have I actually done? So I find that really helps me. I hope it helps you as well. What I tend to do is when I wake up in the morning, I'll come to the computer when it's computer time, obviously. I'll sit in front of the computer and I'll review my day ahead. That's when I'll add in odd jobs, like I need to follow up on this, or I need to do a one-to-one onboarding session with this person, whatever it is. I'll add in odd jobs for that day ahead and just review if there's something I need to cut back on or add in. Then the night before, so on a Monday night for Tuesday, I'll go in and just be like, oh, I actually managed to do that today, so I'll take that off, and I'll just slot in other things that I can slot in, for example. So, and obviously I've got in there as well, like for example, working out, I will, instead of washing my hair, again, if you're a girl, you'll know what it's like when you need to organize washing your hair with your schedule. So for example, if I go swimming on a Tuesday, that's the day I'm filming. So I'll go swimming, wash my hair, prepare my hair for a filming day because I'm in front of the camera. And it's just little things like that to like streamline your schedule and just to have everything making sense and making your life easier, because sometimes I'll just forget and I'll go swimming and I'm like, oh, I've washed my hair, I need to wash my hair now, but it's not really a day that I need to be like preparing my hair for the camera. And I know this sounds really stupid, and someone who doesn't work online or doesn't do like front facing things might be like, that doesn't make any sense, and it sounds silly, and I get it, but for me it really works and it really, really helps me stay organized. So I hope this helps. Let me know your little tricks. If you need a tutorial on how to create like a nice aesthetic calendar, then let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.